An Islamic center in suburban Minneapolis was targeted with explosives. Luckily, no one has died as a result. And no one was hurt. However, this is the culmination of a number of threats that was sent not just to this Islamic center, but to a number of Islamic centers in the area. And because there's a big Somali community living in that area, some are worried that this will now become commonplace. Now, no one was hurt in the blast, which happened around 5 in the morning on Saturday. Windows of the imam's office were shattered, either by what the FBI called an improvised explosive device or by an object thrown through them. The FBI is seeking suspects and trying to determine whether the incident was a hate crime. Now, as far as we know, they have not identified a suspect. They are offering a $24,000 reward for anyone who has information on this. Also in Minnesota, an Islamic cemetery in Castle Rock Township recently reported it had been vandalized with spray painted profanities and swastikas. And usually when stories like this break and make headlines, people don't refer to it as a hate crime or a terroristic act, but surprisingly, the governor did speak out about this, and he said this is an act of terrorism. This is against the law in America.
Look, Mark Dayton is a really interesting and successful governor in Minnesota, and it's clear. It's good to see him being very clear about this. But even that sentence shows, and it's not a knock on him, but it shows our mindset as a country. This is against the law in America. You have to clarify that. Like, if there was a Muslim terrorist had done a bombing of a church, no one would have to refresh your recollection that that's against the law in America. And again, it's not a knock on him. He's trying to do the right thing here, and everybody's doing the right thing. And look, they didn't call it a hate crime yet. That's okay, that's totally fine, because you got to investigate first. And so sometimes it turns out that it's somebody internal that does it for attention, or it was personal and not having anything to do with the religion. Now, it's unlikely, but it is possible, so let them do the investigation. Now, what is far more likely is, of course, that it was directed at Muslims because of the climate of fear and hatred that's going around. And look, there's layers to different kinds of intimidation or hate crimes. So calling up and saying, I'm gonna kill you all, that unfortunately happens far too frequently, especially online with comments, etc. So that used to be a serious thing, but now is kind of commonplace, which is a terrible note on our society. Then there's the going after the graveyards. Now, maybe it's because I'm agnostic. I don't care that much, but the swastikas are terrible, etc. That's a second layer that's actually taking some physical action and deeply concerning. A bomb is a bomb. I mean, so what you have, it reminded me of the bombings of black churches that used to happen during the civil rights era. In Birmingham, you had the 16th Street Baptist Church bomb went off. Sometimes the bombs go off and nobody dies in this case. And so then people are like, oh, it's not a big deal. No, it's a giant deal. And when it went off in the 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, 4 little girls died. And you don't know, I mean, like you could time the bomb to go off at a certain time, and it doesn't go off at that time, it goes off at another time. So this is a giant deal. And if it happened under, again, under a different context, it wouldn't just be like us going, hey, look at Governor Dayton calling it an act of terrorism. CNN, if it was again a Muslims versus against a church, would be talking about it 24/7, and you know it. It doesn't matter where you are on the political spectrum. You know this would be a giant event. Trump would have tweeted about it endlessly, said, oh, I'm right about the Muslims, I told you, etc. Well, but when Muslims are attacked, it's like, hey, somebody called it an act of terrorism when a bomb went off, which is of course.
Right, yeah, I think the biggest issue is, look, there are bad people from all walks of life, and they're out to hurt people, and there should be a proper investigation, and each crime should be handled with the same type of legal weight, right? And so I know that the perception in the media is that it's only one group doing all the bad things. But yeah, while there might be members of that group who do carry out acts of terror, and they should deal with the justice system to the full extent of the law, there are also individuals who don't identify as Muslims that do terrible things, right? And so this is an example of a terrible thing. That person who shot up people at a Planned Parenthood, what was it, last year or 2 years ago? That was a big story, right? And it shows you that there are people who are politically motivated. Now, in this case, we don't know for sure. They're still doing an investigation. But in past cases, there are individuals who are not Muslim, who are politically motivated, who do carry out terroristic actions. And so look, my point is, I'm not sitting here trying to say like, no, Muslims are good and these people are bad. No, they're, again, bad people from all walks of life, and we need to stop pretending like one group doesn't do anything wrong and then one group is always guilty of doing terrible things. I mean, we just need to make sure we protect our citizens by carrying out justice for all groups of people who carry out terroristic threats, terroristic actions like what happened here. Possibly. And again,
the governor called it an act of terrorism, so he apparently has enough information to say that it is in that direction. That is what has happened here. We'll of course, pending the full investigation, could give you an update on it. The last thing is what Anna's pointing at. Right-wing extremists do literally twice as much terrorism in America as Muslim extremists.
They carry out twice as many because there isn't as much focus on right-wing terrorism in the country. And so when it comes to foiling terroristic plots, law enforcement in the United States is really good at foiling terroristic plots that are attempted by Muslim groups, for instance. But when it comes to other non-Muslim right-wing organizations or groups, it's not the same because there isn't as much attention paid to that.
So my point is that not that it's, look, if you look at the proportionality based on the percentage of the population, that's still not great news for Muslims overall. But you're apparently misallocating resources. And by the way, great credit to the FBI and others who are foiling those plots, okay? That keeps us safer. I don't want anything blown up at all. I live in this country, we all live in this country, we all want to be safe. But if right-wingers are doing it at a 2-to-1 ratio, it's not to say do the same mistake and investigate all right-wingers. That'd be a tremendous waste of time and resources. But make sure you've got enough people foiling those plots, because as a raw number, there are twice as many of them, hence endangering all of us twice as much. So let's just put enough resources behind each of those different groups that are doing these kind of terroristic activities as we likely see here in Minnesota. If you like this video, you probably like independent media. The best way to support independent media, become a member of the Young Turks. TYTnetwork.com/join.